some strategies that you have to retain customers and encourage repeat business in the junk removal business?
Man, that's a good question. So something that has been heavy on my mind lately is how to retain customers for the long haul. We've done a very good job of it in a lot of cases. In a lot of cases, we've dropped the ball. There's a book I recommend everybody read. It's kind of geared toward marketing agencies, but I mean, for any kind of service-based business owner, it's an incredible book. It's called Never Lose a Customer Again. I'll give Lewis Vanderbook a shout out here. He's a competitor of mine, but he recommended this book to me. And man, what an incredible book. So it really dives into um, people make their decisions, their minds up pretty quick on if they're ever going to work with you again. Like you have a very short window of time to really make an impression. Something that I have seen be the most effective is as simple as a phone call from you following the job. Now, if you're a business owner who's at the job, a little bit different. You have a leg up because you can actually go and talk to that person. And it needs to be conversational. It doesn't need to be like you're trying to sell them in the future. It just needs to be like, hey, how did we you want to ask them for their opinion. They want to have you want them to have like a sense of ownership in what you're doing almost. And so say it's in your process to ask for a review at the end of the job. You would go up to them and you would say, hey, thank you again for using us. Um, what's some were you perfectly happy with the service? Was everything great, or is there something we could have done better for you that maybe you would have liked? Or and you're kind of opening the door to some criticism there. 9 times out of 10, though, they're going to say no, it was awesome. But what you've done is you've essentially told them that their opinion matters. And even if there is some criticism, you're going to take that criticism and you're going to take it for what it is, and you're going to do it right the next time. But what you've done is you've opened the door with this person. Now they completely trust you. You've already done a good job. Now they feel like that their opinion matters with you. And so that's as simple as that. Now, maybe you're not on the trucks. You're like me, and you got guys out there, and you've trained your guys to do the right things and be respectful and sweep up when they're done and all that. It's as simple as picking up the phone, calling that person, and saying, "Hey, how was it? Was everything okay? Did they sweep up after themselves? Did they get everything taken care of? The way you liked." A lot of people don't like doing that because they're like, "Dude, we're gonna have to go back over there and sweep or something." But as long as your team is good and they're trained well, all you're doing is you're just telling that client that, hey, we're here for you. We're going to do right no matter what. We're going to fix it if we did wrong. And we just want to make sure you're well taken care of. Uh, that's like your residential client. Your commercial client, so your property management groups, people that have, you know, relatively consistent work, I would say create a process to check in with them each week. So you need to just hit them up each week. You get to know them pretty quickly doing that. All of ours, even some now, they still call me personally, and I let that go because it's like, you know what, I want them to feel that one-on-one connection, like they know me, and so they call me and I forward it to the ops guy and he handles it, but they feel connected to the owner and that's a win. And so call them once a week and just check in on them. You ain't got to even sell anything to them. Just say, I just want to see how you guys are doing. Is there anything you need? If not, that's great. But I just want to let you guys know we're here if you need anything, right? Like you're always staying in contact with them. Those two things take work though. And so you got to be willing to freaking put in the work. That's thing number one. You want to retain clients for the long haul. It's an extra layer of work that you got to be willing to do.
How do you feel about the autopilot software that Andrew Thompson is putting out there? Because I just had him on the interview 2 days ago, and he has a program in there where with the sequencing, where you set a certain amount of time, and it sends them a text message, and it retains your customer logbook. So all your customer logbook, after you do the job, say you set up for 6 months from now, hey, we're doing an offer in the area, we could get you 10% off. How do you feel with that? They kind of would, limit, not that you have to personally call them all the time,
Right.
every week, because that could get, a little, time, and, you're trying to get this business up and running. How do you feel about a program like that that kind of does that mass texting and all?
I think SMS campaigns are extremely powerful. And let me back up. You asked me what I thought about autopilot. I'm extremely excited about it. I think for something like that to come out specifically for the industry is really cool. We've historically used Jobber, and Jobber's fine. House Call Pro is fine. Workies is fine. Everybody, some people hate them, some people like them, depending on what they're looking for. But to have a software like Andrew's rolling out, really exciting because it's going to be geared toward the industry. And you know, Andrew's got a lot of really cool, like what you're talking about, having SMS campaigns and certain sequences to be able to be set up inside that software. Just some really cool, exciting stuff. And so I mean, and I think he just started beta, right? Like a week or so ago, he just opened up beta testing. So I'm really interested to see how it all. I invested in it, so I'm interested to see how it all works out. Um, Go
I'm
ahead.
actually going to do the beta testing. You know, right now he has an offer. It's $50 a month if you want to try out his service. I encourage you guys to give it a shot. I know also at the Junk Expo, October 25th, he's also going to be doing beta 2 over there, which will have some more features and all. But I definitely, you know, with me just starting my business, everything that he was saying and all the services that come with it, I love it. And, you know, he also gives out 5 tracking numbers. So it was back to what we were talking about earlier. So you actually know, you know, what's bringing you in the money, what makes sense for you to put more money into marketing and all. So guys, if you haven't already and you're interested in something like that, definitely hit up Andrew Thompson and get on that beta testing, you know, list for sure.
Yeah, that's super cool. And I think to your point, I think that that's a really effective way to target people and remind them that you're in the area, you can take care of it. I think for commercial, so you don't necessarily need to call every residential client, but I do think it's extremely important for your commercial context that you call them, because you know we have some commercial clients, and to this day we're doing on a slow month we're going to do 2 grand for them. That's not a whole lot, but 2 grand a month pays the rent, right? And so it's as simple as a phone call from you, or maybe you're an ops guy or whoever it is, just checking in. And I think that SMS is incredibly effective for like your day-to-day residential customers. I mean, dude, it's super powerful. But from those commercial contacts, you're not going to have a whole lot of them, maybe 20 or so. So just take the time once a month, check in on them, or maybe once a week, however you want to do it. But spend some time to connect with them one on one.
What are some trends that you see emerging in the junk removal industry, and how should businesses adapt to stay competitive?
That's an interesting question. Um, Trends, I think the trends that are happening right now um, are similar to what has been happening over the last few years. I think things changed a little bit during COVID. I think ad spend was like super hot for a long time, and a lot of people are getting away from it. And that's like the one big trend I'm seeing is that a lot of people are shifting away from ad spend. Used to be extremely effective, and if you had a good manager and it was set up properly, it was like you could just dump money into it and it was guaranteed return. Um, but that's not the case anymore, man. It's really gotten tight. Cost per clicks have gone up. Conversions have kind of dwindled a little bit. I still think it's effective, but I think a lot of people are shifting more toward that organic approach. They're seeing that the stuff on the ground is really working well. Um, I think moving forward, and we kind of already keyed in on it here just a minute ago. I think building those relationships with potential clients and like being in their face all the time, like you're the brand that they see in the market, and just connecting with them and just being genuine with those people and building those relationships is going to pay off tenfold compared to what ads are going to bring in, or what any other form are going to bring. And this is me telling you that as an SEO guy, right? And I know that getting you in front of more people matters, but I also know that for long-term sustainability and for really kind of quick growth, it's going to come down to how hard are you willing to work on the ground to build those relationships, because that's where the magic happens. And I think we're trending toward that. I think that's where the trend. People they want to interact with people. They don't want to click on the guy who paid the most to be number one on Google necessarily. That's why they scroll down and go to the maps, because they know that when they go to the maps, they're probably going to get a local company, and that's kind of the trend we're seeing.
Well, I respect your honesty, man. Knowing that you're an SEO guy, you know, you're kind of, you know, stepping on your own foot when you say that, but it's being honest, and I really appreciate that, brother. Really do.